It is now time to get into the RFK stuff. Man, it's going to be a long show. So we'll kick it off with what happened during our flights. We both flew American, so we were able to watch with the American Wi-Fi. We were able to watch the announcement in real time. We'll just play a little bit of that and then get into all the details about the announcement and the rally and everything. Here is RFK to kick it off.
I'm sorry to keep everybody waiting.
Side note, have you ever heard any politician apologize for being late?
Nope. I love that.
That was so refreshing.
Yeah, because he was a good half hour late. I was a little irritated, but it was nice to hear him apologize.
Yeah.
That
was great. All right, here's the rest.
16 months ago, in April of 2023, I launched my campaign for President of the United States. I began this journey as a Democrat, the party of my father, my uncle, the party which I pledged my own allegiance to long before I was old enough to vote. I attended my first Democratic convention at the age of 6 in 1960. And back then, the Democrats were the champions of the Constitution, of civil rights. The Democrats stood against authoritarianism, against censorship, against colonialism, imperialism, and unjust wars. We were the party of labor, of the working class. The Democrats were the party of government transparency and the champion of the environment. Our party was the bulwark against big money interests and corporate power. True to its name, it was the party of democracy. As you know, I left that party in October because it had departed so dramatically from the core values that I grew up with. It had become the party of war, censorship, corruption, big pharma, big tech, big ag, and big money. Instead of showing us her substance and character, the DNC and its media organs engineered a surge of popularity for Vice President Harris based upon, well, nothing. No policies, no interviews, no debates, only smoke and mirrors and balloons in a highly produced Chicago circus. There in Chicago, a string of Democratic speakers mentioned Donald Trump 147 times just on the first day. Who needs a policy when you have Trump to hate? In contrast, at the RNC convention, President Biden was mentioned only twice in 4 days.
Okay, so somebody said, I think he's desperate to stay in the limelight. If you watch the whole thing.
Yeah, you need to watch the whole thing.
You got to watch the whole thing because the detail that this man went into about
and
how
the rationale and how personal, like deeply personal this is. It's not about limelight at all.
It's not about limelight. He's absolutely sincere. He's a freaking Kennedy, you guys. It's not like he doesn't have money.
Right. He doesn't need more fame.
I know, right? I mean, this is the thing. I don't think he's doing it for that. He's not. And honestly, his life would be a lot easier if he stayed lockstep in with his family. His whole family hates him because he's dared to buck convention and go against them and, swim against the current. So I don't agree with everything that this guy says or does, but I do think that he is sincere. I do. I believe that. And I'm a pretty good judge of dudes. And I kind of know when they're lying. I've had some experience with that. And I don't think that he's lying when he gets up there and he says that he wants to help children and he has some causes that he believes in. He is the black sheep of his family. And I respect black sheep.
I want to also remind everybody about how amazing this product is for dogs.
Oh my God. And cats.
Dogs and the kitties and the horses.
And horses.
All of them. And people too.
Yeah.
Coat defense, you guys. If you've never heard of this product and you have dogs that you've had to take to the vet or cats or horses or whatever, if you've had to go to the vet because your dog is one of those dogs like my Maisie who's allergic to everything and who's got skin irritations and wants to chew on her feet and like she's always got like all of the things, right? And it used to be that I would take her to the vet constantly and just think this is my lot in life to spend a lot of money on Apoquel. And then I find Coat Defense and I realize how easy it is to just take this preventative powder. You just pour. Oh, I didn't realize it would spill out.
It's all over a keyboard now.
It's all over my keyboard now.
There you go.
Um, but you just take this and you sprinkle it right on their toe beans. You can sprinkle it on their bedding to actually help deodorize. You can sprinkle it all over their fur and just rub it in. And it helps with a lot of the problems that lead to skin irritations. It's preventative and it also works as a treatment. It's amazing. And they also have shampoo. They have balms for dry noses and dry toe beans. They've got wound care ointment. They've got so many great products. And the shampoo actually was created for humans who just didn't want chemical exposure. And so they have a human version of their shampoo and a dog version of the shampoo. And it's great because it doesn't strip your dog of all the oils that they need on their skin to keep their skin healthy. So, and it works the same for humans too. So fantastic line of products. Check them out at coatdefense.com. When you use code CHICKS there, you're going to save 15% off of your entire order. coatdefense.com. Well, you can imagine, obviously, all of you can imagine the reaction. And it was swift and severe and awful and all over the place. So we'll get to some of that. For example, the DNC committee senior advisor, some woman by the name of Mary Beth Cahill, they basically just shrugged off his announcement. They don't care. They said Donald Trump isn't earning an endorsement that's going to help build support. He's inheriting the baggage of a failed fringe candidate. Good riddance.
Okay.
That's the official word from the DNC.
I mean, listen, he was absolutely right. All the things that he said about how they suppressed him, they did everything they could to keep him off the ballot when it comes to lawfare and everything. And we didn't.
Right.
And he actually asked Kamala to sit down. Kamala said, I want nothing to do with you. Why is that? Why would she do that? I mean, it should be an open forum of candidates, right? He should have been able to run. It should have been, and even Trump said that. Trump was like, he should have been able to like have a clear path to running for president. He didn't want to keep him from doing that. Trump wasn't afraid of him. Why was Kamala so afraid? Why are the Democrats so afraid of this guy? Why?
Well, I think a lot of it is just like Paul Joseph Watson says, it's total arrogance.
Yeah.
It's complete arrogance.
And control.
And they just feel like they're entitled to the way that they are doing it. And that's that. They don't care who it hurts or whether it's fair or whether it's democratic. They don't care.
Which is the complete antithesis of democracy, which is the complete antithesis of how our founders intended this country to be. They are effing it up, you guys. I mean, these people, they talk about dictators. They are the dictators. That is the Democrat Party. We are now the anti-war party. You know, we're the anti-establishment. We're all of those things. We're the punk rockers. And they hate that. They absolutely hate it.
David Axelrod tweeted, RF Kennedy Sr. would have been appalled to see his son cut a deal to drop out for the race and endorse Trump. And then there was the statement from the family. Let me get to that. Where did you notice they used Kamala's blue background, like kind of her template for all of her announcements? So they simply said, we want an America filled with hope and bound together by a shared vision of a brighter future, a future defined by individual freedom, economic promise, and national pride. We believe Harris and Walls. We believe in Harris and Walls. Our brother Bobby's decision to endorse Trump today is a betrayal of the values that our father and our family hold most dear. It is a sad ending to a sad story.
What a bunch of losers. All those. They're all a bunch of losers. They just glom onto the family name. I loved Caitlyn Jenner's response to that. Did you see it? Caitlyn Jenner said, your brother is an incredible part of the Kennedy legacy. Because of him, it lives on. Millions of Americans support and love him. Meanwhile, nobody knows who you even are, Kerry Kennedy. And I totally agree with that. It's like he actually is doing something or trying to do something. The rest of them just spend their family's money.
Yeah, I mean, he's literally he wants to save the world. You know what I mean? Like he's like, I only have 10 years, 10 good years left in me. Like he's thinking about all of the stuff from a legacy and from a genuine save the world perspective.
Right. And
even if we don't agree on how to do that necessarily, that's still honorable, you know?
Yeah. And the whole notion of RFK, when David Axelrod has the audacity to say your father wouldn't be proud of you, screw you.
I know.
How dare
that? He say that?
I know. It's such a crap take. I hate him. You didn't know him. That was his dad. Like, shut up and take all the seats. That really irritates me when people do that stuff, especially when it comes to families and family dynamics. You don't get to do that. That's not okay for you to say because of politics. I mean, that's just gross. It's a gross thing for somebody to say. Plus, that party, the Democrat Party, is so far removed from what it was in the 60s. It's my granddaddy was a Democrat. He would never be a Democrat today. I know that for sure. There's no way in hell he'd ever be a Democrat. The Democrats of the 60s were completely different than how they are now. So yeah, they've changed just a little bit.
You probably know Cheryl Hines, who is RFK Jr.'s wife and very much a part of the Hollywood scene. She is not at all supportive of Trump in the least. She's a Hollywood liberal. But her statement that she put out, because she's not going to endorse Trump, that's not what she believes in. But her statement that she put out on Twitter was very diplomatic, very tactful, very kind, I thought, to RFK Jr.'s staffers and team. And the shit that she got for it was just unspeakable. Like, you should go find this tweet and look at the replies. I mean, it's beyond cruel. And I actually hope it continues, because she needs to recognize that this is a left thing. Read that.
The decision has been made to suspend my husband's, Robert Kennedy Jr.'s, presidency, and I'd like to extend a sincere, deeply heartfelt thank you to every person who has worked so tirelessly and lovingly on his campaign. They have accomplished feats that were said to be impossible. They have gathered over 1 million signatures, more than any candidate in history, and have achieved ballot access across the country despite the roadblocks and lawsuits that have been brought against them, for the sole purpose of keeping Bobby off of the ballots, so no one would even have the opportunity to vote for him. I deeply respect the decision Bobby made to run on the principle of unity. Over the last year and a half, I have met some extraordinary people from all parties, Democrats, Republicans, and independents. It's been my experience that the vast majority of all parties are truly good people who want the best for our country and for each other. It has been an eye-opening, transformative, and endearing journey. And I bet it has been for her.
Yeah.
And I bet it's going to be eye-opening to see all of the blowhard celebrities that try to cancel her now. Because they will attempt to cancel her now.
They were so mean. So many people were so mean.
Yeah.
I mean, I could not believe just the viciousness, it was really,
because, you're married to RFK. I mean, they've been vicious to him. I'm surprised they haven't tried to be awful to her. She sort of like stayed in the background over the past couple of years, but now that he's doing what he's doing and he's actually endorsing Trump, I'm sure they're like, oh, hell no, she can't act ever again, or she can't do this, she can't do that. I mean, I'm sure she's going to be shunned in that community. I can only imagine.